All right, welcome back. Chicago Hockey Radio post-game show. Hawks lose, Maple Leafs win. Hawks lose 5-2 to the, Toronto Maple Leafs. Original six clash on the United Center ice. That was good. That was a lot of fun. Lee and I were boots on the ground. Welcome back, Justin. Justin was boots on the ground last night in Columbus, which is why he wasn't on with us post-game show. Hawks lose, Maple Leafs win. That was good being amongst my Lee. I don't really like, I'm not a big jersey guy. I was telling Lee, obviously you don't have the same feelings as this clearly with your jersey ownership. But so my rule is I don't wear a jersey of anybody younger than me. That's my rule.
Okay.
I think it's a little weird. I don't know if you obviously you don't feel the same way, but Lee was rocking his Bedard jersey. I was chirping him for a little bit. Look, I'm not like a big, I get painted as a Leafs fan. I like watching the Leafs. It's more of a sentimental thing for me. Anything like I'm not like hanging around watching every single Leafs game at this point in my life. Especially with this like job now. But tonight I broke out the jersey. I was high-fiving all the Leafs fans in the United Center, chumming it up with them, like just rubbing it in Lee's face. Tonight I was a real fan. I played the part. I don't know. That was a lot of fun for me. Obviously not so much for you, but I'll throw it over to you. What thoughts on the game? Are you thinking about quitting now that you're sitting here with a guy rocking his Leafs jersey on the
Take
on the
that damn jersey off, man. What is this? You're really taking that Canadian asset role over there. It's like, you know what? Whatever. We'll just feed into it here. In terms of this game, it was better than last night, but like that's a very low bar to cross. Another game where the Hawks gave up 5, but 4.5, the last one's an empty net or whatever. And honestly, probably should have been called off. I think that was probably offsides.
We should talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I thought that was interesting, but the Hawks never really get those calls. But when it goes the other way, they don't. The game itself, I thought started off pretty strong, and there are points of this game where the Hawks look really good. I thought, especially like the first half of the game, but then the second half happened. Like the third period was absolutely brutal. The Leafs just completely hemmed us in. And it's just like nothing really new here at this game. I think this is kind of a script we've seen before, and it's like watching these games this weekend. It's like going from Four Nations to this is like such a jump. It's like just a completely different hockey league. It's kind of hard to watch going from Four Nations to this. It's Blackhawks hockey, man. It's like I was starting to miss this team towards the tail end of the break, and now after these 2 games, I'm like, why? Why was I missing this team, man? They've reminded me of just how exhausting they can be. But at least tonight had some bright spots. Yesterday didn't. But yeah.
So should we start with the empty net? Because I have some thoughts too. I have some thoughts. Okay. First of all, that review took 5 minutes.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Lee and I are sitting there, and he turned so much time had passed that we forgot what was going on. Like we're like, wait, like they're still reviewing this. He was clearly offside.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. Like, why did it stand is the good question. I think it was a good challenge by Sorensen, even though the game was probably, let's be honest, the game was over. Even if they get that call, I don't think the Hawks are going to score 2 goals the last minute 30 there. Maybe they do, but I don't think that's really in the cards for this Hawks team, especially against, this Leafs team that just completely dominated that third period. Once they got going, it's like the game wasn't even close. It was like 2 different, leagues out there. Yeah.
Okay, but so there's a clip going around the internet right now of William Nylander on the bench. Like, I want to find it. And he's like, oh, I was offside. Like, I was offside. I was effing offside. Like, he said something along those lines of being like, yeah, dude, I was offside. And by the spirit of the idea of offside, like, I get them holding it, like, by the rule book, right? But in the spirit of the offside, like, that's crazy to hold that up too.
Well, where they go to confirm these calls, Toronto.
Yeah, but I've watched enough Leafs games to know that the Leafs also aren't on, like, the Leafs don't get the benefit of the doubt either when it comes to a lot of these calls, So I thought that was super weird, and also, like, I don't know what the time limit needs to be on challenges, but 5 minutes for an empty netter is absolutely ridiculous.
And it wasn't like that was like, close. It's like it was pretty obvious. So like why it took that long is beyond me. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. So I mean, for sorts of a challenge, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, you may as well. It is what it is at that point. I will say this, another conversation. I don't love this rule where if you get it wrong, that you get a penalty after the fact. Like, why do we introduce these challenges in the game? If you're going to punish the team if it doesn't go their way. Like, I get it. Like
Yeah.
after the first challenge, maybe you do that because you can't. You don't just want these coaches throwing challenges all the time. But like I don't know. That seems kind of silly rule to me. It's like, I don't really get that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just like for me, it's the time of it. Like,
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
it's the because you're finding conclusive evidence. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're looking for in a challenge. If it takes you 5 minutes to there is no conclusive evidence because you've just spent the last 5 minutes going back and forth on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be conclusive. If it takes more than two or like 3 minutes even is like long enough, but like after 2 minutes, like go with the call on the ice.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I think it was, but like the fact that it took them that long probably means they made the right call. Because like if it takes you that long to figure it out, then clearly it's not clear enough to them. But I don't know. It seemed like it to me. But maybe we need to get our vision checked.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can go off empty net talk. Also, shout out Jeff in the chat. CHR Enjoyer came up to me and Lee at the game.
Oh, nice.
He just was like, Chicago Hockey Radio? And I was like, yeah. And he took a picture with us. And
Is that the guy
cool.
in the Chicago Hockey Radio Instagram story?
Yes, it is him.
That is
It
him.
is him.
Okay,
Yes.
very cool. Now, what's it like to be recognized in the flesh at a Hawks game?
It was a little weird. It was,
Yeah.
no, it was cool. It was cool. Like, it was weird for me, not for like the exchange was very nice. He's a very kind human being. And
Welcome to the club.
yeah, his girlfriend was like, he listens every day. So I was like, yeah, we love you guys, honestly.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, if you're like, we're trying to create something that hopefully is an enjoyable, like basically everyday experience. Sometimes there are days, obviously, we don't pod, but we're putting in the work here too. So we want you guys to like enjoy us. Obviously, so
For sure. Yeah.
it means a lot that you guys do. I mean, I don't know where'd you want to start really? If you want to do more big picture, like positives or stuff like that, I had some things.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't really have much to do with the game, but like I do think it's important to note this was Frank Pellico, the organist of the UC's last game. Kind of sad. He's been there for years, right? It's always join us for organist Frank Pellico, soloist Jim Kunilson. So it's definitely sad to see him go. He's just a legend there at the UC. Just watching all these games and being there. Here's the thing that pissed me off. The ESPN coverage cut it out. Like we didn't get to see the anthem. His final anthem at the UC. And we didn't see
about it.
Yeah, the Hawks did honor him later in the game. They did show that, so kudos there. They at least mentioned it. But I thought that was kind of sad. I was looking forward to seeing that last anthem, but I guess we'll never know. I'm sure there's clips online we'll be able to find. But yeah, I wish the Hawks could have came away with a W for him for sure.
That was so like it was so loud in the UC when they did the thing. Like it was arguably the loud. Now, to be fair, I haven't like been in the building for like a playoff game or anything like that. But that was, or I told Lee, I was like, that has to be the loudest this building's been this season. Like it was
he's a legend. Yeah.
So loud in there, and the ovation was it was really cool. It was really fun.
That's great. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Frank Pellico's a legend, and it's kind of sad now. Jim Kunilson, it feels like he's kind of one of the last of the old guard there. So it's definitely changing the guard. He'll definitely miss him for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you want to do some big picture stuff? I got some thoughts here. First one, just because Lee and I, yesterday, and you can tell me if we were off base, but like yesterday was actually a lot closer of a game to me than it felt like.
Then the score showed. Yeah.
Then the score showed. But then, obviously the 2 goals in 23 seconds at the end of the period, like you're not going to win a lot of hockey games like that. But the goaltending, like the 2 softies, the first and the third goal from Columbus last night, it was like the first Kent Johnson goal and then the Dent Matejchuk goal. Like those were absolute softies from Peter Mrazek. Arvid Soderblom tonight, like I know it won't like show up like that, but he's so much better than Peter Mrazek, dude.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. I think if Soderblom was in that game last night, like the Hawks said, that could have been like an OT type game, especially if Bedsy's goal doesn't get caught off. What's the deal with that, man? That's 5 now in his career. Unreal. Where was the challenge then, Anders? I still think that should have stood. But anyway, yeah, the goaltending last night was a big difference maker. That was the first time in 17 games the Hawks outshot another team.
Yeah.
So they were better than the score showed. But in terms of this game, I think they're better than the 5-2 score showed in this one as well. Not for the full 60, but for portions of this game. And I thought Soderblom wasn't the problem. I think the goals that he scored more on defensive lapses. Seth Jones, he had a pretty brutal game, and I think the fourth one went off TJ Brody. So nothing really on Soda, I would say, in this game. Yeah.
No, like none of them were softies. None of them were like groaners. Like, oh, I want that one back. Like, it was just good, man. Like he was just solid, and didn't get the goal support. Like a couple of unlucky bounces. But I thought he was really good. The other player that myself and Lee couldn't stop talking about tonight was Frank Nazar.
That's right. Oh, he was the best forward in the ice for the Hawks. I think not even close tonight.
He was the best player on the ice for the Hawks.
Well, he made 2025 Phil Kurashev look competent, so that shows you how good of a game Frank Nazar had. Nice to see him get a goal, maybe boost whatever. He doesn't have much value at the moment. Whatever value he does have, maybe he can get something going before this trade deadline, because clearly the Hawks have made up their mind on him. But good to see him get going. And yeah, Nazar was just so fast, so noticeable all night. What a play made to set that goal up.
So just gross, dude.
It's nice to see the Hawks on that side of it, because normally it's the other team that's scoring right after we score. So it's nice to see the Hawks, respond right after giving up a goal, like that. It doesn't happen to us very often in the period. Like that gave me a lot of hope going in the third. It was like, okay, like we have a Menta now, we can carry this over. And it just didn't happen. The third period, like we were asleep.
Such a confident play though. And you could tell that, like, you can tell with him. And this, like tonight especially, I was just like, man, like this kid's confidence is growing and growing and growing. And maybe this is like the Leafs bias in me, but like if you're Frank Nazar, you look across the ice and the guy wearing 16 in white tonight, like that's a guy that you should be watching a lot of tape on. And that's a player that you can turn into one day.
You might be playing with him soon.
Yeah. But like, I see a lot of Mitch in Frank's game, and like, he's out there on the penalty kill. I know it's the second penalty kill unit for the Hawks, but like Mitch kills penalties for the Leafs. You know what I mean? Like it's the little things, like the plays with the stick and the takeaways and the cutting guys off and just like being confident and passing the puck. Like, dude, that Deke, I don't know who he shook out of his boots on the Leafs at the end of the period.
Yeah, it made him look silly, whoever that was.
Made him look like an absolute turnstile, and just put it right on the tape it was Bertuzzi, right? Who got that one? Yeah.
Oh, Kurashev.
Or Kurashev,
yeah,
right.
That's right.
But like, you're not going to get an easier goal in your life. Like Lee was like, I could have put that one in.
Oh yeah, that was all Nazar. That was not Kurashev. I mean, Maroon may have missed the net on that one. He's maybe the only Hawk who would have missed that, or TJ Brody, but pretty much anybody would have scored there. I definitely would have. No, he had a great game. I saw a stat before this game. Frank Nazar has 8 points his last 11 games, now 9 his last 12. I think that'll be tied with Celebrini for the most amongst rookies in the entire NHL. So that says a lot right there, just how well he's been cooking lately. Good to see it.
Yeah. He was just tremendous. Like off night for Connor Bedard. I didn't think he looked really great tonight.
I think something I put in my notes here, like this Slaggert Donato Bedard thing, it's not working anymore. Like it had some looks like before the break, but maybe the break didn't help in that regard, because this weekend, like that line has not looked good. I don't think, I've said it before, you don't need both Slaggert and Donato up there. Slaggert's like, I love him, but like he's just not a first line player. Like he should be in the bottom six, and I don't know, either move Nazar back to the wing. Although I have liked him at 2C, so maybe that's not the move. I think with Dickinson being out, it is nice to see him in that role. I think he's done a fantastic job there, as you said. Good in the special teams as well. But who you put there to replace Slaggert, though, is something to think about. But just I don't think they both need to be up there. I think get Bertuzzi back up there. They had a good connection going. I'm not sure why we broke that up. Bertuzzi, by the way, had a 9-game drought with no real points, no production, and he had 2 assists tonight. So good to see him break that. So maybe get him and Bedard back together. I don't know. Maybe reunite Bedsy and Nazar, but this first line at the moment needs a change because it wasn't there tonight.
I would like to see Bedard and Nazar together. I just, I worry about this because I do think like again, to turn it to the Maple Leafs, I think that's like Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, right? Like that could be but like Austin Matthews, like people call him soft, people call him, like whatever. I watched a really good breakdown from Rachel Dory. I think that's who it was. Did a breakdown of the goal because I know Matthews is getting cooked for the McDavid goal. That goal is not on Austin Matthews as much as people think it was. Adam Fox took a bad route to get to Mitch Marner. He went around the wrong side of the net. In the John Hines defensive system, it was really on Jack Hughes to be there, and Austin Matthews is really like the third guy to blame on that. I know, like, people like to chirp the Matthews for Selke thing, but like he is a really sound defensive player. He's not Barkov, I understand that, but he's a lighter version of that. Now, here's the reason why. And look, I'm not saying even Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews work together, but Austin Matthews is a lot bigger than Connor Bedard.
Yeah, he is. He's a big dude.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a big dude. Like, he doesn't probably use his body as much as he should, but he definitely, like, knows how to use his size a little bit. And I just worry if you put Bedard and Nazar out there together that, they're going to get run over. And the Hawks don't, like, Bertuzzi's, like, kind of big. You'd like him to be a little bit tough. Like, he's not tough like people think of him, I think, that don't watch him all the time. He brings a little bit of energy and spark sometimes, and sometimes I guess he likes to throw the body around, but I don't think he really likes to do that when he knows the games don't matter also, to be honest with you. So I just I want to see that too. Like, I really do. I think that could be a really special connection. But then it's like, man, like, you need somebody with like size and physicality to pair with those two,
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. It does feel like the Hawks are kind of grooming him for that 2C role. That's probably what he's going to be long term, right? I think his ceiling, it makes sense to be a really insane two-way player. I think that would be like Bedard Nazar as a 1-2 center combo. That works. Like, that would be great. And I think when they did play together, they had some games where they were really noticeable, really productive, and then they had some games where they're kind of exposed a little bit. So I could see why they're kind of separating them. But I think just the way the season's going, why not? Let's have some fun here, right?
Yeah. I agree. What else? What other takeaways? Did you want to, let's do a little crowd talk, because we talked about it, I think, before.
Like there are a lot of Leafs fans there.
A lot of Leafs fans. A lot of Leafs fans. I talked to a few of them. A lot of local Leafs fans. Like, a lot of them live in Chicago. A few of them were like, out of towners, people who came for the weekend, for the game, explore the city. I got asked where to go get deep dish. I said Pequods, but a lot of more local Leafs fans than I thought, which was kind of weird. I don't know.
That's funny. I always think of Toronto as the Chicago of Canada. Like, the two cities kind of share a lot of similarities, like population-wise, downtown-wise. So I didn't realize a lot of Torontoans, or at least fans of the Maple Leafs, live here. That's interesting. But it is a big city, so I guess I shouldn't be shocked. But Toronto's not that far either. I mean, it's closer than you think. Yeah. And Leafs fans travel, and it doesn't matter where. If there's a hockey game, they will be there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Hawks fans at Columbus last night. I could attest to that, being bear witness. Yeah, it was like maybe 60-40 split there.
For the Hawks?
Yeah, maybe that might be generous, maybe 65-35, but it was close. Yeah.
For like 65 Hawks or 65?
For the Jackets, but like the Hawks are pretty close. Yeah, for sure.
There was maybe like, I don't know, which, like, for a building as Hawks have, like, the Hawks don't really struggle selling out the United Center. Like, this isn't, I don't know, this isn't the Anaheim Ducks, you know what I mean, that we're talking about. Like, I think there were maybe 20% Leafs fans there, which is a lot, I think, for the UC. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, for the way.
You don't really get 20% of any other team's fan base, I think, going in there, right? Like,
yeah, the Hawks are still getting, like, they're not selling out every game, but like, they're close. Like, they're still getting 18,000 every night. I think the capacity is like 19 for seats, 20,000 standing rooms. So with where this team's at right now, like, that's pretty respectable. Yeah, I would say. And a lot of the teams in the same position, like the Sharks, are in the same position, like in the bottom. No progress there. So definitely the best attendance amongst rebuilding teams. But when you're Chicago Original Six market, I guess that's to be expected. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was cool though. It was a lot of fun being in the arena. Also, that's the third time now that I've been to the Leafs Blackhawks game. The first time I went, which was years ago, I got heckled mercilessly. Like, absolutely just vile, ruthless, you're trash, you're garbage, your team sucks, you suck. And then the last time I went by myself to the game. Last year, I went the day after Thanksgiving, and it was very calm, very cool. And yeah, this time I didn't get chirped at all. So there
you go.
But
you had a lot of your kind there, so that might be it.
Yeah. What else? I mean,
I
did you?
thought Seth Jones was terrible tonight. I don't know if
Yeah,
you noticed, but like he was out there for a ton of the goals. I mean, the second one he screens. Well, the first one he took the penalty that led to the goal. The second one he screened side of him, and then the third one just I don't know what the hell he was doing. He totally let the pass go through him. Nick Robertson looked like Jason Robertson tonight. Scored 2 goals for the Leafs. And all the
it was
former
the
Hawks were
third
cooking
goal.
too.
It was the
Yeah,
third goal, right?
yeah,
The don't we're just Jones has a step on Domi,
yep.
and Domi gets to that puck first, and then sets it up on a tee for Nick Robertson. Like,
And he puts
dude,
his stick nowhere. He doesn't even cover the lane. Like what a lazy play. Yeah,
just like I understand you don't want to play here, and
yeah, it looks pretty obvious.
maybe
Yeah.
we can have a larger discussion tomorrow. Like I don't really want to have the discussion right now about like should he be wearing an A right now on his jersey,
Ooh,
but like
I
maybe
would say
that's
no.
yeah, I would say probably not too.
Mhm.
That's probably a discussion for tomorrow's show where we can get into it a little bit more. But like I get you don't want to be here and you don't want to do it right now, but like you got to have some trade value. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's like ever since he heard those comments, these 2 games, last night too, like it was not pretty. He claimed, oh yeah, he's gonna give it his all while he's still here.
Are you
Did
sure?
he look what did he look like? Yeah, that was a quote. Yeah, he said, while I'm still Blackhawk,
No, I meant
gonna
like,
give
are you
him.
sure he's going to actually do that though? Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not. Like this past weekend, it's pretty obvious watching him, like he's not giving his all. Like that's not hyperbole to say. Like it doesn't feel like he's giving it all up there. So kind of a shame to see it. It's like I think for his standpoint, you still want to put your best hockey out there for potential suitors, right? If you want to get out of here and the feeling's mutual, well, you got to impress the GMs there, and he hasn't been doing that. So it's a shame because right before this break, he was playing his best hockey. So I'm not really sure what happened. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's not good. And I heard another show talking about it too. And they were like, oh, well, I could see him going to a contender and like being really good. It's like, I'm not so sure about that. You know,
You think? Well, what do you mean by that?
like he goes to Dallas or he goes to Colorado or something, and then he like flips it back into like 2018 Seth Jones. You know what I mean? Like 2019, like Columbus, like last year in Columbus, Seth Jones. Like I don't.
You don't think he'd make a contender better? You think he'd make him worse?
I think he'd make them better, but I don't think he's going to be exactly what he was.
Like prime
you know,
Seth. Yeah.
like you're going to go to Colorado, what, and be the third best defenseman there behind Taves and McCarr. Like, I mean,
It's not just going to
that's
fix his
cool.
game.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like he's not going to be a top 2 guy in, Colorado or Dallas even. Like once Heiskanen comes back, like I guess you're top dog until then, but after that it's like, dude, like get ready to play second fiddle to him in every single way. Like I don't know, man.
There's something said for that. Like he's kind of forced to be the guy here, but it's like wherever he goes, he's probably not going to be. He's probably going to be second pair of minutes, right?
Maybe that is good for him. I don't know. Maybe it does end up working
less
out for him.
pressure, right? Yeah, at this stage of his career, that could be the move. I mean, he's 30 years old, which is like he's probably already. I mean, you say 30 probably isn't prime age these days. It's probably more like 26, 27. So he's probably already starting that decline a little bit, right? Yeah.
I think he's a player that could have, like, I don't know. It depends on the situation and what
I
happens
do think
here.
he needs a change of scenery, though. Like it's pretty clear watching this that the feelings are mutual, and I think it will do good for him from that aspect. Probably getting out of his fan base that clearly doesn't want him, but then just like the feeling isn't there. So I think it's probably the best for him, to move on. But it does suck to see it like go out like this, though, for sure.
I'm reading some chat here. Maybe Jones plays better when he doesn't have to skate 26 plus minutes a night. Yeah, that's probably fair. But like, are you really also going to pay a guy $9.5 million to play 19 minutes?
I know. There's a reason he's making that money. Like, should he be making that much? No, we don't know that. But it's like there's a reason. Like he was doing that for every other team before in Columbus. So yeah.
Yeah. You can't pay him 9.5 and not give him an A. Yeah, I get that also, but
But it's like I don't think a guy should be in a leadership position if he doesn't want to be here.
and also shouldn't be in a leadership position just because of his cap hit.
Exactly. Yeah. No. That doesn't really. There's no really correlation there. I mean, there are a lot of captains of these. Not all captains are star players, and that for season A's, right? It comes down to leadership and tangibles in the locker room. Like Foligno's a captain of this team. By that logic, he shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. I
agree. But that play where Domi beats him to that puck, like that's inexcusable.
And it's not what. I'm not surprised that Domi went off. I think he had a few assists tonight. Jake McCabe had a goal as well. All the former Hawks were cooking us, which like what's new? The former Hawks become Wayne Gretzky when they play.
Wasn't
every single time?
Wasn't the McCabe goal assisted by David Kampf too?
I think it was. There was a bomb from the point.
Yes,
So
it
yeah, I think,
was.
dude.
Or no,
So what is that?
It was a Tanev goal, but it was assisted by McCabe and Kampf. So
So let's see, three former Hawks with points, and McCabe also had assists. You just mentioned. So what is that? One, two, three, four, 5 points from former Hawks today for the Leafs. That's something. Jesus, my goodness, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
yeah, a lot of like former Leafs on the Hawks and former
That
Hawks on
too.
the
Yeah.
Leafs. Yeah.
Yeah, at least Bertuzzi had a couple assists, so we gave a little bit back to them, but not quite. Didn't quite match up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else from this game? I didn't really have much.
Oh, here's another big picture thing. Lucas Reichel, I thought he was playing fine. It wasn't an issue. Did you notice Lucas Reichel in the third period? I'm just gonna pop the question to you, see if
So
you
somebody
noticed.
already put it in chat, so I saw that. I didn't
Yeah.
even really. I said to Lee in the first, and I said it last night too. But he was playing a lot more confident, and
Mhm.
then I didn't even really notice that he wasn't playing, and apparently he didn't play after halfway through the game.
That's right. Yeah, he was benched for half the game, which is like if Sorensen's like he said he didn't like his game. Well, I'd love to hear what Sorensen has to say about TJ Brody's game and
I have no
Seth
idea.
Jones' game. It's like this preferential treatment with veterans versus young players continues to baffle me. Like that's a Luke Richardson decision right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. I didn't notice the play. Like, was there like a play before or
That's the thing.
something that
Maybe
led to
maybe
it?
maybe I missed something, but like
We got to go
if
back and
there
watch the tape. I don't know.
there was one moment I think where he probably could have fired a shot and didn't. Maybe passing up some opportunities. But like I mean that's pretty much this whole team for you. Like that's what we do. But like I don't think he really did anything super egregious where it's like you bench him for half the game. I think there are other guys who are more of an issue out there than Lucas Reichel, especially when he's barely playing on the fourth line. So I don't know. I didn't really understand it. But maybe we'll have an answer for tomorrow. We'll take a look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll go through the press clippings and all that and see.
Yeah.
Um, Pat Maroon looks slow out there, dude. Like
Oh,
just in person, it's a different kind of slow. Watching the other players like buzz around, and then here you got this guy just like lugging back. It's pretty
it looks
funny.
like he's going in slow motion out there. Like it doesn't even seeing him in person. Yeah, I was seeing him last night. It was even worse. Like, he's just I'm sorry, he's just not an NHL player. Like he's not. Like the reason he's still in this league is because his name is Pat Maroon. Like he shouldn't still be playing. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine so? So did you see that Gavin McKenna goal I sent in our group chat?
Oh, that assist, holy! And his production is like it's actually greater than I hate to say it, but it is greater than Bedsy's
Yeah.
production as D1 here. But I think different situations. I think he's also a little older than Bedsy was at that stage by about 7 months. I think his team's a little better, but still, his production is there. Yeah.
So there was a goal in Connor McDavid's early career that is eerily similar to that McKenna goal, and you know who scored it?
Dylan Strome.
Pat Maroon.
What?
Do you remember that there was a time when Pat
Oh, in the
Maroon
NHL. My bad.
in the
Okay.
NHL,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
NHL.
okay. Yeah.
There was a time in the NHL where Pat Maroon was Connor McDavid's winger.
Well, he was, you know what it was? They just stick him in the power play when he was there, and McDavid would just find him, right? You
Yeah.
have these tap-in goals. You look at his career, he had that 27 goals that season. That's an outlier. It's because he was all for McDavid. And clearly the Hawks have been trying to emulate that. Like the fact that they still have him in the second power play unit, but he hasn't done shit there all season. I'm not sure why we're still putting him there, but we are. But like that was a long time ago, man. Like Pat Maroon, prime Pat Maroon ended a long time ago. So he should be in the retirement home now.
Any other thoughts from this game?
Let's see. I mean, not really. I mean, I think it just in general was a really entertaining game. I think just these Hawks Leafs games, every time they play, especially in the United Center, they never disappoint. Like they're always fun games. I thought this one was as well. Bit of a sleepy start, but like, man, once this game picked up, it really picked up. So I think it was a fun game. Would be nice the Hawks come away with it, but yeah, it is what it is. Another narrow edge followed up by blowouts. So it's either one or the two. Nothing really changing there. Um,
I have a fun stat for you before we go. Did you know that the Leafs hadn't had a regulation win in Chicago since 2003?
Really?
Yeah,
Two,
I know.
22 years ago. But
It,
I was born that year.
it doesn't seem like it because obviously, like, there's been some overtime ones in
Time
there.
told me was on that team.
Yeah, no, literally.
Oh my goodness. That is so wow. Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I thought the Hawks were going to win this because Soderblom always owns the Leafs when they play him too. So I thought this was a very winnable game. We kind of had their number in recency. I know they beat us this year when they played us in Toronto. But like otherwise, if you look at recent history, we've kind of had their number, but not this year. They swept us this year, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading chat a little bit. No, we didn't get to see Ryan Guy at the game, although he said he will see us March 5th, which is true. So that's a good time for me to do a plug. Because I forgot to mention it on the post-game show last night too. Midwest Coast Brewing is a week from Wednesday. So myself, Justin, Lee, we're going to be live streaming the game against the Ottawa Senators. It is green hat giveaway night also at the Blackhawks.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
We will have stuff to give away though for everybody that comes out. So RSVP link is in the description of this episode. We sadly won't have merch ready by then, but we did get something in the mail that we're just going to give away for free. So come get a free thing from us and, enjoy the live stream. It'll be super fun. Discounted brews. They're going to play the Senators, so maybe they win. Yeah. Everybody's banged up on the Senators right now. It's like Pinto's out, Norris is out, and Brady Tkachuk is out right now for them. It's like, yeah, if you're going to make the playoffs, you probably need those three guys, but...
Probably, yeah. That's too bad for them. I'd say one more thing, sorry for this game to mention. I didn't bring up Teravainen got his 500th point in this game.
True.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Mr. Four Nations guy, he had a quote for this game that he wasn't really happy the way he's utilized there. He said he didn't really give him much of a chance. There was this really funny graphic they showed like before the game where it's like they showed everybody in this game who was in the Four Nations. Matthews had like 3 assists. Marner had like, the game-winning assist, the game-winning goal as well. Nylander doing his thing with Sweden. And then Teravainen played 8 minutes the entire tournament.
Wow.
Seriously, really? 8 minutes in 2 games because he didn't play the last one. So he was the polar bear at Arlington, Texas there. Yeah, so he was just there having fun.
That's insane. I know we're done with the Four Nations talk, but that's not a good coaching decision.
No, I think definitely a guy who should have been utilized more. And good to see him, clearly taking that personally. Actually, I think I just answered my question for earlier. Like, replace Slaggert or Teravainen in the first line. Get Tavo up there at Bedard. That's my answer. Yeah. We haven't really seen them together lately. Let's revisit it. They had some good chemistry early in the season. Power play. Let's get them back together there. Yeah.
I don't hate that idea, actually. Yeah. I really don't. All right. Nothing else?
No, I think, Hawks next game Tuesday against the Club. We'll get into it tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. Podcast tomorrow. Live show, March the 5th at Midwest Coast. Sorry. We have a lot going on here. Mm-hmm. Show tomorrow. Post game on Tuesday, show Wednesday. Lee's live streaming the game Thursday against the Vegas Golden Knights. Then we're going to do a post game show. Then a show Friday. I will not be here for. But then they play Saturday again too. So post game Saturday. And,
that's right.
And then we're going to Kalamazoo on
man. We're gonna have a busy spring break, man. Yeah. Holy jumping. That's going to be a lot of fun.
It's not spring break for us. It's spring break for you.
For me, yeah, that's right. That's why you all schedule all that during my break. One last thing. I will leave you with this. How about that Patrick Kane overtime winner? We'll get into that more tomorrow.
I didn't see it.
That was silky. Oh, man. Wait till you see it. Absolute cinema. Clearly, that guy was too clutch for Team USA. Clearly too good of a mentor for Benzie. I'll leave you with that.
I saw the box score. They almost blew a 4-1 lead to the Ducks. And
yeah, he had to bail him out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We're like 7 away from 1,000. It would mean a lot. Close. I know we're so close, dude. It's bothering me.
I'm yapping at my followers, like, dude, we're so close to 1,000. Help us out. And like, man, like, come on, guys.
Yeah, we're so close. So help us out. Leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can leave a comment with your 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a ton. Trying to push us out like to people who listen to other hockey podcasts. We want ours to come up after theirs. That's why I tell you guys to do that. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Show tomorrow.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye.